Brought me back. I started going with my wife, Marlene. We was going together for like 7, 8 years before we finally got married. We had a long distance relationship. And she was always worried if I would continue to keep going to church. That was her biggest thing. And I never knew if I would continue going to church or even having that personal one-on-one relationship with the Lord. I thank God for that, keeping me close. And I remember this one time when it was like maybe a year or so before we was going to get married. One of Pastor Brent's daughters came up and gave me, while everyone from Hope Chapel, I'm not sure, was going around and caroling, and that evening I was at the Haiku post office, just picked up my mail, and this little girl came up to me and gave me a little flyer inviting me, an invitation to Christmas service at church. So I went home, and then I called my wife, and I called Marlene. We were talking, and I said, "Oh honey, when we married, I think we got one church too, that we can go." I said, and cool thing is close to home. And we were still going together. We used to now and then come into the church, and I remember Tess always being, "Oh hi, how are you folks?" greeting us, and I was like, every time we would come back, "Oh, how are you folks?" Like we were brand new people. But praise the Lord for brothers and sisters, always welcoming you into God's house. It makes it easier to come in, just to come inside, because me, I was way out there, I used to be like, oh, But I thank God for just having people there to kind of ease things for you so you feel comfortable to come in. We started off going to Hope Chapel, not sure. And after that, the Lord just took over, took control. Taking us areas into, for me it was the Levites. I remember we were doing it was like a church fair, and I remember Bill Dolan, I think it was, "Oh brother, come here, you need to sign up on this." And then I signed up, and that was the Levites. And now I set up the chairs, which I don't mind. That's for God's house, that's for God's time. But then the Lord had also blessed me with a helper, Johnny V. And just other things, like we'd feed my sheep, and for whatever that the Lord has, and I'm available or what, okay, Lord, you say I'll go do anything for him. My dad was still healthy, and he was still strong, able to do things, and not, we didn't have to really worry about anything about him until before when she came, he suffered a heart attack on the wall. And after being there for like 3 or 4 months because of his going doctor and everything, even tried putting in stents, so cleaning his artery. It never, they couldn't because of his age, too old, and so they just gave him more pills. And it was good that when he came back, he still could do things on his own and didn't have to really too much worry about him. But then as the couple of years went by, then it was starting to wear and tear a little more on him. Wasn't too bad, because in that beginning part, it was like he still could take care of himself, just needed a little bit more help, you know, on certain areas that he needed sometimes, maybe with going to the shower, bathing, like that. But it was like on the last leg of his life. That was really hard. It was beginning to be a little stressful. Yeah, my relationship with my dad, because of his sickness, but is also with the relationship with my wife, Marlene. Because he didn't only suffer from congestive heart failure, but he also had dementia. And dementia makes it more hard when you try to take care of your elderly family members, because sometimes they can remember a lot of things from their long-term memory, but it's the short-term things that they can't remember when they get into that mode of the dementia that comes about. So it was like hard times between my dad and Marlene. He would always say, she's the other lady, and just other things that would be just kind of crazy, like off the wall and stuff that he would be saying. And it kind of wore her down to the point where she was like, well, she wanna go back to Oahu. And I was left with, should I choose staying with my dad, or should I leave and go with my wife? I was kind of caught in the middle, because I love my dad, who I taken care of, and also my wife, who I love and take care of too. And it was, that part was, I just thank God for being in my life, because I never know what choice I would have made. But he brought us through that, even though how hard it is. Especially when we would ask, like, because I have 5 sisters that is here in Maui, if they could kind of come and help us to, you know, relieve me and Marlene, so we can, you know, do some things as a husband and wife, as a couple, you know, and not only going to church and kind of like, okay, hopefully he's all right, but just go out and you know, just to go out and just have a peace time with, you know, with the Lord, and enjoying each other's company. And but no help came until his very end. And